This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Caddles.
What'd you make of the many mentions of Elliot Wolf during the presser?
Not much. These things tend to happen when you get in these situations. This is my read on it. Do I think that Elliot Wolf has the possibility or the potential to be in charge of personnel for the Patriots for multiple years? Yes, I think there's a possibility, because I do think that there's a feeling that this past year, for various reasons, he was not allowed to fully invest in his job. For example, he wasn't even at the GM winter meetings. They sent Matt Groh. Was that because Elliot Wolf was busy with things internally and helping things? Could be. But I do think I read it as this, and you get this a lot with a lot of NFL teams. I do think that the Crafts really like Elliot Wolf and his staff and the plans that they had. I think that they feel that he wasn't able to fully implement them. This first season with it was obviously we know about Mayo's shortcomings. The staff, Wolf had to do a lot of work on the staff, the staffing, and all that stuff. So I do think it's the Crafts preference. And I remember hearing this about a couple other jobs or sort of transitions that I've covered. The owners basically go to the new head coach and say, like, I understand that you have your ideas and this is what you want to do, but do me a favor for the first year, like, give these guys a tryout. Like, see, just do us a favor. I think, talk to this guy. I think he's got some good ideas. Do that. And I'm sure Vrabel said, yeah, absolutely. And we've heard him talk about Elliot Wolf and all that stuff. Now, he also, at the very same time, as he's getting introduced, Mike Vrabel's bringing in Ryan Cowden into the personnel department, his own guy. And so, to me, look, it could work gangbusters where everybody gets along, everybody's doing their thing, and it's all of a sudden they realize, like, the synergies here, like, we're kicking ass, like, let's keep going with this. Could happen. The odds aren't great, but the more likely thing is what you see is they'll go through this. Vrabel says, absolutely, Robert, whatever you want, I'll do this, blah, blah, blah. But really, he knows at some point in time, it's going to be him and Cowden running things. And it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, before that happens. Does that mean everybody in the department goes? No. Who knows? Maybe Elliot only has one more year left on his deal. He stays on through here. But at the end of the day, everybody's involved in discussions. But it's really Vrabel and Cowden going behind closed doors and being like, this is what we're going to do. So I think Vrabel's very smart. He's playing the game. How long that game lasts, we'll have to see.
Totally agree with you. When I was watching that press conference yesterday, to me, people were just paying attention to him saying Wolf's name. Like, okay, Elliot Wolf just interviewed him. Elliot Wolf is his go-to guy right now when it comes to the football operation, and he's talking about these players. So he brought up Elliot Wolf 5 or 6 times. Okay, great. He gave a bunch of non-answers when he was asked about the roster construction and control and collaborating. He was asked directly, Greg. He was asked directly, who has say on personnel? He did not answer that question directly. He didn't say Elliot Wolf has the final call. I have the final call. He left it open-ended. He said things like, these decisions will sort themselves out. He mentioned, he went even to go as far as talking about that nothing had been finalized when he was asked about Cowden. He said, Elliot and I will have conversations as it relates to the staff. Nothing has been finalized. Nothing has been determined. And he also said, as with many staff, there's going to be turnover. I did not hear any commitment from Mike Vrabel to Elliot Wolf in regards to Elliot Wolf having the call. None of it. and he was asked question after question. He was on Zoe and Beetle. He was asked about Elliot Wolf. Listen closely to what he says. He says, I think the vision him and I both have, the communication, again, what Greg just said, Robert wants collaboration. He loves the idea of communication and having a vision together. He says, I think the vision him and I both have, the communication, allowing him to find us great players. And then he says, and for us to come to an agreement about how we add them. So I read that as, yeah, Elliot's going to do more legwork than I'm going to be able to do. But at the end of the day, Elliot's going to come to me and we're going to have a conversation and we're going to have to agree on if we want the player or how we want that player. I don't think anything, Greg, is going to happen without Vrabel and Cowden being on board with it. And that's ultimately what people have to be worried with. Like, there's no way on God's green earth. You know Elliot Wolf better than I do. You know Mike Vrabel better than I do. But let's just look at the personalities, folks. Let's look at Elliot Wolf when he was with the media last year at camp. Nervous, kind of fidgety. There's been reports from Andrew Callahan that he doesn't put his foot down with his staff at times. Greg, you said that is true, that he's not really a guy, that's going to walk in and have that confidence right out the gates. And then you look at Mike Vrabel, who's walking in, chest out, proud as a peacock. Do you really think that when those three guys are in the room and they're having a conversation about drafting a player, that if Elliot Wolf says, I want Travis Hunter, and Vrabel and Cowden go, we don't want Travis Hunter, do you honestly believe, people, that Elliot Wolf's going to go, well, tough shit, I'm drafting Travis Hunter? Like, what are we doing here? To me, it's like, it's just people getting worked up. They have this like trigger in their head when Elliot Wolf is brought up.
It's unbelievable, like how, a certain show in the afternoon yesterday, I mean, by the end of their show, they made it out like, Elliot Wolf and potentially Josh McDaniels or Benedict Arnolds and and now people react to like, they basically think that Elliot Wolf is the devil because Jalen Polk didn't have a good rookie season. Or Elliot Wolf whiffed on the left tackle. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you still need an experienced front office staff. And Elliot Wolf right now, considering the coaching staff is gone, or I imagine most of them are, probably some of them are still in the building. Some of them are trying to get other jobs and things like that. He's invaluable as far as being like, hey, this is why we drafted the guy. This is what went on last year. This is his weakness. This is his strength. And then even going forward, you look at the Hard Knocks with the Giants. How many people were in Joe Shane's room when they're talking about what to do with Saquon Barkley? There's like 6 people in there. But at the end of the day, the GM those discussions are going to be going on in Vrabel's office or in a room where Vrabel's in charge, because I fully believe that Vrabel is getting final say at the end of the day. And Mike's going to listen to everybody. At the end of the day, who do you think he's going to listen to? The guy he took about 5 minutes to bring in with him. I mean, so, everybody needs to calm the freak down about Elliot Wolf. It's just gotten completely out of hand. And I even said this to Felger in the email exchange. I was like, holy hell, it's going to be a long offseason until they actually do something. I mean, I guess the coaching hires will distract people, and then they'll go right back to hammering Elliot Wolf until they actually get some new players in here, even though it's really Vrabel and Ryan Cowden.